So let's discuss more. Here with me now is former Democratic Mayor of Tallahassee, Andrew Gillum, Democratic strategist Hillary Rosen, and former executive director of the Congressional Black Caucus, Angela Rye. All three CNN political commentators. It's great to have you guys here.
Good to be with you.
Let's have some fun. It's game day. We're on the game day set. Let's play some games. Angela, you will end tonight after the debate. It's saying it's a great debate if what one thing happens?
If I can remember 3 of their names.
That's actually a good goal.
I can remember 3 of their names, and attached with their names, they said something meaningful. I don't want to just see shade thrown tonight. I really want to see people come forth with good policy prescriptions that makes people feel like there's hope. I think that the debate is not just about showing who is the best wordsmith. It really is about showing that there is a path forward for this country. We are in a dire situation right now. And I think that it's up to the Democrats to show that things can be very different.
3 names, okay. What do you think the headline, the big headline is going to be tomorrow, Hillary? Or what do you hope the big headline is tomorrow out of tonight's debate?
I think the headline's likely to be Sanders and Warren dominate, and, half the field says goodbye. Because I agree with Angela that you want 3 names, but what you really want is for some of those other candidates who have spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, and have actually raised some money, to define their raison d'etre, to give us why are they still in this race?
Yeah.
What does this mean? And I'm looking forward to hearing a rationale for Steve Bullock getting in late. I like Amy Klobuchar. I don't feel like she's caught on. Is she going to be able to define herself? And Beto O'Rourke, from day one, I said, this guy has been overrated in this presidential race. Is this kind of the final end?
Yeah, that's going to be another interesting matchup, I think, tonight with Beto O'Rourke possibly. Donald Trump will, of course, be part of the debate tonight.
He'll insert himself, certainly, if he isn't.
Trying to insert himself in the conversation. Maybe you could argue that already today.
Yeah.
He was asked this morning who he thinks his biggest opponent is in the Democratic field right now. And, well, here's what he said.
I think right now it will be Sleepy Joe. I think. I feel he'll limp across the line. That's what I think. So what I think doesn't mean anything. But I know the other people. I know him. I think he's off his game by a lot. But I think, personally, I think it's going to be Sleepy Joe.
The attempt at branding aside, polling still says that Joe Biden right now remains the front runner, and still is the front runner still. If you could pick one of the following, do you want to see those on the stage tonight draw a contrast with someone else on the stage, draw a contrast with the front runner Joe Biden, who's not going to be on stage, or draw a contrast with President Trump?
Well, first of all, I hope we are not using President Trump as a primary source for anything that is fact-based. Number one. But really, tonight, I think both Senators Sanders and Warren provide a really good foil for any of the other candidates to define and draw a real line in the sand around their vision. If what they're claiming to is a more moderate vision, maybe they're, frankly, dismissing all of the labels and are trying to show themselves as the forward-thinking, futuristic, inspirational leader. I think they'll have a good opportunity to do that tonight, largely because there will be, I think, starker philosophical divides amongst the candidates that are on stage today.
Angela, when it comes to Warren and Sanders, leading up to the debate, they have been really projecting. I don't think we can say kumbaya, but they've been telling everybody that they're really good friends.
It's a love fest.
It's a love fest,
Yeah.
and they should not be, as Marianne Williamson would like to tell us.
Yes.
We fight with love.
I like her.
I think she should be the secretary of something that feels very good.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yes.
What you're going at. They're basically, with Sanders and Warren, they're basically saying don't expect fireworks.
Yeah.
But they're, as Jen Psaki said this morning, they can't be co-presidents. They are running against each other. There's one person who can win this nomination. Can they draw a contrast with each other and play nice?
Well, here's what I think you can expect. Elizabeth Warren is drawing a contrast with each and every day, and how she's doing that is Bernie Sanders had sound bites. The last election in 2016, he ran on his sound bites. He used those same things. He's doing that same time this year. And people are like, oh, wait, where's the there? Like, that's not it. And so now Elizabeth Warren, this same woman, who came up with the concept for CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau under the Obama administration, is like, oh, you thought it was just CFPB. No, I can do this on everything. And so they're seeing the contrast with substance. And that doesn't mean that Bernie Sanders doesn't have substance. It just means her depth is there, and people are starting to see
I think
it.
they're both really substantive candidates, and I do think they're both offering something substantive. I do think there's a stylistic difference, though. There's a question that voters are asking themselves around who they can feel most comfortable with, who projects, frankly, their closest vision for what they want for the future of this country.
Can they
It's really
make that
more.
on the stage?
It's really more in Bernie Sanders' interest to go after Elizabeth Warren than Elizabeth Warren's interest in going after
that.
Bernie
She
Sanders.
doesn't have
She's
to.
ahead.
Yeah.
She doesn't need him. She's already gaining his followers. She's the one picking up ground. I expect to hear Elizabeth Warren tonight go after Joe Biden more than I expect her to go after Bernie Sanders, because she wants to move past that. The other piece is you've got to say that there are some people who aren't going to go after anyone. My guess is Pete Buttigieg is not going to attack anyone. He wants to be, number 5. He wants to move up to number 4. He's got to knock out a couple of people, but he's got to do that by offering something more than just his
But I do think he
resources
needs a
and charm.
breakout moment, right? I mean, I think that's true for probably him and for
Beto, right?
that
because they
they're
both
there,
need to
but
get
they're
some
humming
mojo
along.
back.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Beto. I mean, I think they both need to get a little bit of mojo back with their campaigns.
Yeah.
O'Rourke's team seems to have been kind of telegraphing that they would relish an opportunity to draw a contrast with Pete Buttigieg, and I'm in a place where, like, is that how Beto O'Rourke gets his groove back?
No.
No, you got to punch up. Always, and not to say that people, but I kind of consider them in
On the
very
same
similar
playing field?
places. Yeah,
Well,
but
they're not nearly the same in polling, and in that respect,
This
is-
that is why they're going at. They're calling out Mayor Pete because it is like crabs in a barrel. You grab the one who's on the lowest, lowest rung above you,
but I
and
think
so you're pulling him down.
Castro in the last debate, I thought did a really good job at, frankly, punching up. And in an unexpected way, he said, "Look, I'm the one that deserves to be on this stage. I've got a command of policy. I got a record I can stand on, and you will find few contradictions in what my public service has been." So he went after Beto, and I actually think it was a pretty effective landing. And I think Beto tonight, along with Pete Buttigieg, have to think about, okay, what is that moment where I get to strike out and be
And
the
everyone
negative
keeping
force?
score at home. Julian Castro not on the stage tonight. He will be on the stage tomorrow.
Yes,
No,
that's right.
I'm not
Yeah.
correcting you at all. Just there's so many of
There's
them.
an
It
easy
is
way
hard
to
to keep.
remember it. I hate to do this, but tonight is white night. I'm going to make sure y'all know there is not a
Didn't say
single person
fight
of
night,
color.
just so you
But it's all white folks tonight. So it's white night. This is debate night. Number 1 is white night.
So
That's
one
the best
thing
way to
that's
remember. It's no
interesting, though,
diversity
is
tonight
that
on the
tonight's
stage.
white night is there are no candidates on this stage who are really soaring rhetorical speakers, right?
Well,
This
it
is-
depends because
this is
Pete
likely
Buttigieg
to
got
be
a mean
more,
Barack Obama. So if he puts that
If
thing
he
on
gets
like
in
he
there.
did at Essence Fest,
So gets in there, but this is likely to be
Serious.
more policy heavy, a little more plotting, a little more let me kill you with my ideas
Okay,
than
lightning
tomorrow
round.
night's likely to
Lightning
be.
round. I'm going to ask a question. You all raise your hands. Kidding. Not those questions will not be in the debate
Thank you very
tonight.
much.
Interrupting. Good strategy or bad strategy?
it depends.
Bad.
On the stage.
I think it depends. Like, you have to have something really good to say. Like my Dr. Seuss rhyme just moments ago. It has to be. It has to be really good.
Can't
Like,
tell your
of
own
this-
story. That is
Exactly.
that is. Can't tell your own story.
There's like a rule. There's
There
like
is
a
a rule. You
rule,
cannot tell your own
and
story.
I was trying to use an example.
Well, it depends on what time in the debate this happens because, we've
Yeah.
got some smart moderators tonight who
Yes.
have real questions,
Yeah.
right? And so whether or not interruption is successful is largely dependent on how the moderators handle it. And I do not think that Donna, Dan, and Jake are going to take, just wholesale, let me not let you finish your point
Yeah.
that's true. That's
action.
true.
Yeah.
Can I also say on the one there, I'm really interested because he's the only newcomer to the stage. You mentioned Steve Bullock.
Yep.
He is the one person who has won in 2016 in a state that Donald Trump took by 20
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
I feel like this is he's got the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it seems that he's
Does
got
he?
the secret. I'm saying he
could be
won
an
in
anomaly.
He has
an
an
outlier.
opportunity.
I'm
He
just
has an
saying, he could have
opportunity
the
to
secret sauce.
project it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right,
This
that's
is what
right.
tonight does, and I do think, I don't mean to overstate this because it's CNN, but I do think this is make or break for a number of people.
Do you think after tonight, if there's a dismal performance by someone, do you think you could see some of those on the lower tier who have really not made any break in the polling, that you see them dropping out though after this?
I see that money could
It's inevitable.
potentially dry up, and it
Definitely.
becomes
Yeah.
very difficult to run a national campaign if you can't travel.
We are going into the dog days of August now.
Yeah.
And then we hit after Labor
Yeah.
Day, and then we go into the next
That's
debate
great.
where the field will be cut almost in half. And so, figuring out what's going to get you through August
Yeah.
for these campaigns that are already
Yeah.
struggling with resources, money, staff, and calendar, there's no question that this is going to end up moving some people off the stage.
The fun is only beginning.
Yeah.
The Dr. Seuss puns continue
Yeah.
throughout the day. It's great to see you guys. Thank you so much. All right. Do not